I don't think he's going to run. But I'd like to go for immediately debates. I'd like to debate him now because we should debate. We should debate for the good of the country. We can talk about these problems, Dan, and get him to change his ways. But I am officially doing that. I also put out, you probably noticed, that I'll take his spot at the Super Bowl if they want. We'll get very good ratings.
So Donald Trump, all of a sudden, down to debate. He has been running as fast as he is capable, which is not very fast, from debating any of the Republicans. So now he thinks, oh, maybe I can scrape together a couple of neurons to debate Biden, but Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, they might make me look bad. I'm not going to do that. And Joe Biden has a funny response to this sort of challenge big launch. We're going to get to that in a sec. But Donald Trump is really focused, maybe more so than on the debate with this Super Bowl interview thing. So he bleated, "Crooked Joe Biden has just announced that he will not be doing the big Super Bowl interview. A great decision. He can't put two sentences together. I would be happy to replace him. Would be ratings gold." He is so desperate. And I think specifically it's the Super Bowl. I think he's jealous of Taylor Swift. I think that's what this is about. I think that he thinks people are going to be looking at her during this and he just wants to be a part of the conversation. So I don't know if that's actually going to happen. It's sort of a thing that the president is supposed to do these interviews. I don't necessarily love the idea that Joe Biden is missing out on an opportunity to maybe try to sell himself and his agenda or whatever. But I do want to get to his response to the debate and then we'll discuss. Here's what Biden had to say.
President Donald Trump is ready to debate you right now. Do you accept?
Get on radio. What do you think to immediately?
Immediately?
Yes.
Will you debate him?
If I were him, I'd want to debate me too.
So he gets in a couple little hits against Donald Trump. I will say, like, okay, you're out, you're having fun, you're getting boba or whatever. Like, when you're on camera, walk with a little bit of authority. Come on, they're trying to pitch you as not being able to, like, put a couple of sentences together. Like, get out there, show some energy. Can we put like a shot of espresso in that boba or something? But anyway, they had been implying, Sabrina, that there would be no general election debates. He's fled debates for years and years now. The dude is terrified of debating people, but he thinks maybe he can do it against Joe Biden. What do you think?
Can I just say, not the boba, like that scene alone is absolutely Biden trying to appeal to Gen Z. Boba of all things. Like, you haven't had boba before, Biden. It's okay. You can have a coffee. It's fine. Just maybe not Starbucks right now. But Trump, I could see why he would want to debate Biden. I mean, we do keep seeing clips of Biden absolutely fumbling his words, not being able to like control his motor functions sometimes. So I wonder if maybe that's what's giving him encouragement. And I just, when Trump debates, it's not like he cares about being right or moral. It's just about who can talk the longest, who's the loudest. And I think that he believes that he has the energy to do that to Biden, based on what he sees, but also like based on maybe what the people around him tell him. Yeah. They probably do advise him like, hey, don't actually debate the people who might, take your nomination. You could take Biden though. So I think maybe that's where we're seeing this energy come from.
Look, I wonder whether he'll actually even make good on it. Like he wants to project strength or whatever. But again, he has run from debates recently and he should. Trump's brain is not in good condition. If I was Biden, I'm not even sure that I'd want to debate him. If you recall, like the last time they debated back in 2020, Trump was riddled with COVID and lied about it. He risked sickening Joe Biden. So I wouldn't have a lot of trust for him at this point. But I do agree with you about this being like a Gen Z play. I'm surprised he wasn't drinking his boba out of a Stanley cup or something.